Now this whole event is organized to understand what is that is required for the community, what is that which we can do together, how do we create a collective platform where everybody should have a participation and where results are seen and felt. We will not talk about something in the air, ख्याली बातें करने से कुछ होने वाला नहीं है. We have to be very practical. I request Janab first to start this the deliberation. I request Janab Rahman Khan Sahab, because the book which he has written, Indian Muslim and the Way Forward, we don't have to look for 10 places to know what is required for the community. Because when I was going through that book, I think he is just not a chartered accountant. He was the first Muslim chartered accountant in Karnataka, in South India. It is just not that he became a member of parliament. He served in different positions for almost 40 years. That book I see is an amalgamation of all of his experiences. He has brought in all his experiences to show the way forward for the Muslim community. And Alhamdulillah, I'll request everybody to read that book. I now request Janab Rahman Khan Sahab to speak to everybody present here on the book which he has written, the suggestion which he has given, the problems which the community face. In ikhtisar mein, if you can speak to the all of us, please. Rahman Khan Sahab.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Janab Quraishi sahab, Hussain sahab, Beautifier sahab, Father sahab, Minority Commission Chairman sahab, MLA Vidya sahab, Rahim Khan sahab, Salim sahab, और शाहिद सिद्दीकी साहब और बुजुर्गों और दोस्तों, भाई और बहनों, यहाँ पर हम जमा हुए हैं कुरैशी साहब की बुक के ऊपर डिस्कशन करने के लिए. तो इन्होंने मुझे एक सरप्राइज दे दिया कि it is not the, I never intended that my book will be discussed. It will have some other occasion, but anyhow, because Subhan sir has asked me to give it. My book is a simple book. I have not quoted any statistics or anything. It is just an experience of my 50 years of working in the community in different fields. I mentioned in another book, positivity, my sign is positivity. The community should develop positivity. I have always stressed it, and that is my life. Ups and downs and comes, but even in your worst of time, negativity should not enter. That is the message I have given in the book. My life started like that. I am from a village, as all of you, so many students are starting. Mine is not an educated family. I was a BCom student. What is important is I failed in BCom. In one subject. That didn't deter me. So what next? Yes, I can sit on an examination and pass one subject. But I wanted to do CA. It is difficult. At those time, I am talking about in 59. It is impossible to think about CA because it is not popular. It is one of the toughest examination. All that is there. And how can a become failed student think of doing a CA? That too, hardly there were any Muslims. That is why I am the first Muslim chartered accountant in Karnataka. But anyhow, I determined. And Alhamdulillah, the negative thing never entered in my life. I took it, worked hard as anybody does. And I was those batch, that is what 64 CA batch. In Karnataka only 3 people passed. I am one among them, which I never thought that I will never. Why I am stating this is, you should never give it up. Impossible you can achieve. After that, my life is continuously something or the other, something or the other, this institution, that institution, this institution. Everything is with positive mind. Resources did come in the way. Impossibilities doesn't come way. Whether we can do anything. So this is the message I have given in the book, Indian Muslim, The Way Forward. The first chapter, my ideal is Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. He was the right person, leader, Muslim ever had. After that, we never had a stature of leader who can guide the community, who can give positivity. He is the person who stood till lost his life, and Nehru compromised, Gandhi compromised, Patel compromised for partition, but till his death he never compromised for partition. He held the view that partition is not good in the interest of the Muslims of India. And his address, every one of us should read. In 1947, on the stairs of Jami Masjid, and that speech contains in my first chapter, and what he has advised the Indian Muslims, which is relevant then, which is relevant now also. That is my first chapter. My second chapter of the book is on Indian leadership, both political and religious. Our perception of leadership is either political leader or a religious leader. There is no other third leader. There is no economic leader, there is no social leader, there is no other thing. Everything is rounder of political leader and religious leader. Either religious leader controls or the political leader controls. Both have failed us. Both have failed us. That is, why leadership has failed, why leadership has not emerged. Because all along we have leadership which are imposed. I believe that leadership was imposed by the political parties. Never a leader has emerged in the field of politics or in the religious leaders. Our religious leader controls one section of the community. The political leaders are there. So always from 1947 till this date, all leaders, including, I am not excluding if somebody considered me as a leader, we only know negative. ये नहीं होगा, वो नहीं होगा, we are minorities. The minority syndrome is killing the Muslims. This is what Maulana Azad said in 1947. You never think that you are a minority in this country. You are not a minority. You think you are the second largest majority of this country, and which is true. The moment psychologically you think, if I am minority, I feel I am weak. That automatically will come. Suppose if you feel I am a second largest minority, I will also. Struggle is there. What we have said before this Ayodhya, before this BJP government and all that, earlier communal disturbance. Communal disturbance was happening before 47 also. History of communal disturbance goes to 150 years. And when there are two communities, when the Muslaks people can fight, two Muslak in Islam itself can fight to the extent of killing each other. If two religions fight, there is nothing extraordinary about it. So the leadership somewhere they are also responsible for the negativity of the. So I have said that the leadership should change, the perception should change. They should be accountable. My only thing is in the second chapter, I said leadership is a political leader, religious leader, everything. If they want to leader, they have to accountable. Accountability aspect is there for everybody, for even individual. For individual also, I am accountable to society. So the leadership I have discussed in the second chapter. The third chapter is what is our weaknesses. Economic weakness, education weakness. Where are we? Where are we today is each Muslim, everyone should think about it. It is not that only leaders should think, only politicians should think. Where are we should be think about everyone else. We are zero in corporate. There are 6,000 and odd listed companies in the country, in the Bombay Stock Exchange. We are hardly not even 100, 150. So how do you, if you are zero in corporate sector, you will not be recognized, you will be useless. You may be some here, some big people, billionaires may be there, or there in the community. That is not going to change. That is not going to bring a big change. Your few rich people in the community is not going to bring a change. Unless we create jobs. And they are respected in society. Similarly, you take in small scale industry. Similarly, you take in cooperative, agriculture. We are all far behind in every sector. There is no sector which we are working. So, what should be done? How we should address these issues? It is a thing I have said. Then the fourth chapter I have covered is, we are destined to live in this country. Whatever it is, 20 or 21 crores Muslims, whatever we say, this, that, all communalism, ऐसा हो रहा है, हमारे ऊपर ये जुल्म हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, ये सब हो रहा है. But हमारे पास कोई choice नहीं. हमको अल्लाह ताला ने कहा है कि आपको मिलकर रहना है, हिंदू से, क्रिश्चियन से, सिख से, सबसे मिलकर ये मुल्क में तुमको जीना है. दूसरा अल्टरनेटिव नहीं फाइंड किया है तो आपको फाइंड करना पड़ेगा. आप ये नहीं कहेंगे कि वो नहीं कर रहे हैं तो हम भी नहीं करेंगे. नहीं, वो नहीं करेंगे तो आप करेंगे. So this is the duty casted upon us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Quraishi Sahib has quoted from Quran in every this thing, I have also quoted from Holy Quran. Every direction. Have you ever thought what a great catastrophe we have done in the Babri Masjid and other religious cases? 50 years we have lost in this controversy. Just to fulfill, because I would not like to go into this, I am a witness how this Babri Masjid was done only to satisfy the ego of few people, not the community. And how we converted the entire issue to the national and international issue. This is the greatness of Indian Muslims, other Muslims. A trivial issue. Now, our ulama says, once a masjid, always a masjid. No doubt about it. But there are 10,000 mosques in Punjab. Quraishi Sahib was holding a work portfolio. Ask him, what is the status of mosque in Punjab? He was the administrator of the Punjab Waqf Board, which is one of the largest Waqf board. There are 10,000 mosques. Is that those mosques are different from Babri Masjid? It's for us to think. And now, one more very beautiful subject we have got is common civil code. We create subjects. Our ulamas will not interact. What Quran says, common civil. I was telling in the morning also. Yes, we should come out. If you want to bring a common civil code, bring it. But bring it according to Quran. Every thing they are criticizing on common civil code is what we have following, not in the Quran. See, for example, polygamy, you bring a law as per Quran. What Quran says exactly incorporate into a law. Nobody, they will be very happy. Similar inheritance. Now the inheritance, they say the woman gets less, the male gets more. This is after the death of the person. This inheritance and the share start only after the death of the person. If he has willed it, he can do anything. So nothing prevents that person to will, if he really wants to be justified in this thing. That is the thing. And all the 4 or 5 issues, polygamy, this inheritance, and this talaq, triple talaq now, we could have solved it. The community could have solved it. It's a trivial issue. We made it an issue. And ultimately, we lost. Unnecessarily, we go to take any case which you have gone to the court. Because we don't differentiate between constitution, our rivals. Article 25, 26, 27, this religious right, none of us knows it is not absolute right. It is subject to the other rights in the constitution. If any of the fundamental rights or the religious right conflict with Article 14, then your freedom of religion will not be put on. So these are all things which we don't debate. We are afraid of talking to our ulamas, questioning them and learning from them. We don't use our religious platforms. There is no interaction. Whether, even I, with all my status disorder, I will be afraid to discuss with an ulama because they will think, you are questioning us? You are alim? Are you a mufti to question us? Then I am neither alim nor mufti, but I am an ordinary person, doubt comes to my mind. Prophet ﷺ used to encourage questioning. And that is how hadiths have developed. We don't do this. And my book, that is, the 4th chapter is this. And the last chapter is a conclusion which we have to live, interact, develop friendship, and certain advices I have given. So now the 3rd chapter is very important. Unless you are economically strong, education is strong, we have to create another 22 lakh doctors then only we will be recognized in the society. We have hardly senior advocates. Except Salman Kurchi, I don't think another 1 or 2, there are no senior advocates in the country. How do you fight your cases? There are no sufficient doctors. There is 4 doctors for every 10,000 population. If we are to recognize, we should create so many doctors, so many engineers. Unless you create it, so many IAS officers, so many, how do you create it? It will not come from heaven. You have to work hard that now that each one has a talent. I see each one of us has a talent. Each one of us could be an institution. But we have to So this is all some of these things I have talked with. It is my experience, which I have said. I have only talked about positivity in the book. This is all I think. Thank you.
This is this platform today's the whole event is all about this deliberation only. Your experiences, whatever you have put it on the paper in the book.
You see, this young man, when I was 1 or 2 years old, he had just returned from sorry, I just want to tell you.
Mr. Subhan was in the initial stage at the Falcon. They are experimenting in these. So he used to visit me also, like any other thing. So he suggested we can convert the madrasa students into doctors. And particularly he said, our hafizas, the memory, a hafiz can be immediately done. So they select some hafizas and all that. So I was very much impressed. And I started working after my period is very small, very 1.5 years. But I did appreciate, I did know that he is a potential person who can do the community. And then we recognize him, and today he is a bright star.